What is the status of potential liability shield that I know you've had a group work on, and would it involve having the legislature return to do anything about it, or do you plan to do that by executive action?
In answer to your last question, Peter, I would expect that it would require legislative action. I know that lawmakers are working to address these issues, both in terms of the liability issues and ensuring that folks who are injured on the job or not injured on the job, that get COVID on the job, have access to appropriate compensation. So I know there's a work group happening and look forward to seeing the result of that work group over the next couple of weeks.
So does that mean, just quickly to follow up, that you expect to call a third special session? And if so, I'm curious what your priorities would be.
Thanks, Hillary. Appreciate the question. I think that does sort of would require a third special session. I think it's dependent upon a couple of things. Number one, whether or not Congress is able to get their act together and come up with a funding package for states and local jurisdictions and get that passed through both houses. Obviously, if they do not, that's going to require either the legislature or myself taking other drastic budget measures. Secondly, I know that the People of Color Caucus is continuing to work on law enforcement reforms. I am continuing to support them in this effort and look forward to seeing additional legislation. If they can get to an agreement, I would certainly propose sooner rather than later. We have other issues out there, and of course, we just talked about workers' comp and liability protections for school districts and businesses. So I think those would be the priorities. We haven't had any detailed conversations. Obviously, lawmakers worked long and hard on Monday, and they need a day of rest to recover before we start the next conversation.